Hi and welcome to Giggles and Yarn, my crochet channel. This is Nelly from South Africa. Welkom by Giggles en Gare. Bienvenue à toutes les chacun. Welcome back again to Giggles and Yarn, where we are crocheting this cool Grinch party slipper. We've already finished part 1 and 2, and now for part 3 we're going to do the Grinch face. So follow on with me as we finish this fantastic slipper. So let's get started. For the Grinch face, we'll start with a slip knot and 20 chains. I'm using a chunky tiger lime green and 5.5mm hook. And you'll just chain 20. So the beginning chain was there. That's 20. Straight away make 1 single crochet into the first stitch and 1 single crochet into the second, then a half double crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And then a triple crochet, or some call it a triple, into the next 7 stitches. 1 triple crochet stitch into the next 7 stitches. Six, 7, then 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then 1 half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then 1 single crochet into the next stitch and slip stitch into the last stitch. Chain 1 and turn. Now make 2 single crochets into each of the next 2 stitches. 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then double crochet, 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then a triple crochet, 1 triple crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then 2 treble crochets into the next stitch, and then again 2 treble crochets into the next stitch, and then 1 treble crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And then a double crochet, 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then half a double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then a single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Now, after you've made the 2 single crochets, there's this little corner stitch, it's not very clear, and in there you make a single crochet, then first stitch you made on the other side, and then make a single crochet into it, then make a chain, and then turn, and in that same corner space in that same first chain of first stitch where you work that extra single crochet, work another single crochet. So into that very first single crochet on the other side, you're going to make a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then start with your normal 2 single crochets again. So that's what it looks like so far. This is our row of chains, then our first row, our second row. Now we're going to make 1 more row, which will be this bottom part, and that's going to give you this long row of about 30 stitches, and then we're going to turn it and work this top part. It's fun. Alright, so now we make 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then a double crochet into the next stitch, into the next 2 stitches, which means 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, just like before, and then 1 triple crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then 2 triple crochets into the next stitch, and 2 triple crochets into the next stitch, and for the third time 2 treble crochets into the next stitch. Then 1 treble crochet into the next 2 stitches, each of the next 2 stitches. Then a double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Then half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Then a single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And then 2 slip stitches. And make 1 chain. Now let's end off this part of the work. So insert your hook into this corner chain where we started, right at the beginning, and make a slip stitch, and then 1 chain. Cut your yarn and pull through. So this part is completed. Now we're going to start here, and we're going to make this part for the eyes and of the forehead, actually, of the Grinch. So attach your green yarn again. So now we've made this part here, there, and now we're going to make just this little part here. So attach, insert your hook into the very corner where you can. Pull up a loop. Chain 1. Now make 5 slip stitches, 1 into each of the other side of the chains. 5, then make 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet each into the next stitch, then 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, each of the next 2 stitches, and then 1 treble crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, and then 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, then half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, then a single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then 4 slip stitches. Five slip stitches. Then make 1 chain into this very corner, so it will all together be 5 chains. Slip stitch, altogether 5 slip stitches, and then chain 1, cut your yarn and pull through. Now take your green yarn again, and where we've ended up here with our slip stitches, we're going to start right there in that corner, in the first space you can find. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slip stitches in there. Pull up a loop, chain 1 and pull tight. Now make 1 single crochet into the next stitch, a half double crochet into the next stitch, a double crochet into the next 2 stitches, then a treble crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Now a treble crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 treble crochets into the following stitch. Now we make a double treble, two double trebles into the following stitch, yarn over 3 times, again 3, 2 double trebles into the next stitch. So double treble is just yarn over 3 times, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. So we have 2 in there now. Now again 2 trebles into the following stitch. And then just 1 treble into the following stitch, then a double crochet into the following stitch, and after the double crochet, a half double crochet, and then a single crochet. Instead of making a normal single crochet, we're going to make a spike stitch single crochet because we want to be on level par with this beginning on the other side. So we'll go straight down right underneath this where we would have made the single crochet. Okay, so we insert our hook exactly in line with that single crochet, so it will be there. So we just go 2 rows down like that. It's just above this row, just above this row. There's your space. So it will go 1, 2 rows down. So insert your hook there, yarn over, pull up a long loop and finish your single crochet and pull tight. So there, you can do it one more time. Spike stitch single crochet. Instead of going straight into this space, we'll go 1 row down. So I want to be in line with this stitch. So I'll make my single crochet here, not there. Just 1 row down. So yarn over, not yarn over, sorry, just insert your hook straight there, yarn over, pull up a long loop and finish your single crochet the normal way. Then pull tight because you want the same effect as on this side. You see? There. I'm going to pull it tight. Now you can see it. It's got the same effect. Okay, so now we're going to end off chain 1 and cut your yarn and pull through and we'll make the face. You can work away all your yarns, but you don't need to work these little ones away because we're making special little fluff on the sides. So work away this tail and this tail, and then you can leave this one. We're going to just cut it and add some more. Well done. So now we've finished our Grinch face and we're going to do these little whiskers and the fringe, the Grinch fringe. So let's work away this yarn. This tail, we're not going to need this for our whiskers or our fringe. So we just weave it in and pull it through and go back 1 like that, and then cut your yarn. So here we've got 1 more. We can also work this one away. Just weave it in. Make sure you can't see it on that side, although they're both green, so it's okay. But we don't want something to make a line. And then pull it through and come back 1 little bit there. And cut your yarn. So for these little fringes, we're just going to take some green yarn and we're going to cut a few strands. We're going to see how long we want the whisker, then just double it up, and with a little bit extra because you need to make a knot. So let's cut a few yarns like this and we're going to put them here. So it's just a matter of how thick you want your whiskers and your fringe, how many of these little pieces of yarn you're going to use. So the method that works the best is if you just use the principle of a pom-pom and lay the yarn across your hand and then just wrap it a few times around. I'm just going to do 5 and then cut it here. Take it off your hand and just lay it down like that. Then take another piece of yarn that will be, you know, kind of the same length, but you need to make a knot as well. And then lay it on this yarn and make a knot. You don't need to make a double knot because we're not going to make a pom-pom, but it's up to you. I just make a knot on both sides like that, and then these I'm going to use as part of it. The tail becomes part of the whisker or the fringe, the same length, or the same on this side. Just cut it open to make the whisker and then cut them the same length. So now cut another piece of yarn to sew with, like so, and now we're going to sew it onto our Grinch face. So you can thread your needle and make a slip knot at the end. Then I go through this knot here at the bottom there, in the middle. Made it very tight. And then come from the bottom, from the back. So if you've determined what is this, my wrong side, this is my right side, come from the back in the very middle of this top here, where we're going to put the eyes. Come here in the middle and put your needle through and pull tight. Then bring this part up so you can go through here again. And pull through. And then just go back one more time. Make sure that with your last stitch you've got this fringe right on top. Right on top of the Grinch head, Grinch face. There we go. Now just put your needle back where you started and take it to the back and make a knot. So you can undo this slip knot. Just pull it loose and make and tie a knot. There we go. This can become part of the whisker, and if you cut this the same length, it's also part of the, not the whisker, the fringe. There we go. So now do the same for each of the other sides, and make sure that when you cut these, you cut them the same length. They will probably be just the same length as that, and these also the same length. So repeat this fringe for these side whiskers as well, and then we'll make the eyes and every other part of the face. To make the face of the Grinch, the eyes and so on, let's start with the eyes. Take a double knit yarn yellow and reduce to a size 4.5mm hook. Let's make a slip knot. And then chain 8. Now make a slip stitch into the first chain, then into the next chain make a single crochet, into the next chain make a half double crochet, into the next chain make a double crochet, into the next chain make a half double crochet, and into the next chain make a single crochet, and into the next chain a slip stitch. Now repeat exactly the same sequence on the other side of the chain. So chain 1, turn your work and continue on the other side. Let's make a slip stitch, one single crochet, one half double, one double, one half double, one single crochet, and a slip knot into the very corner. And chain 1. Cut your yarn and pull through and make one more eye like this. Now take your black yarn and we're going to make this little piece of eyebrow. So I think these are eyebrows and these are frowns. So let's make this part. Insert your hook into the furthest corner that you can, into the furthest corner, and pull up a loop, make a chain and pull tight. Now just make a slip stitch in every stitch that there is at the edge of the eye, at the uppermost edge of the eye. Go into every stitch, just go into the middle of the stitch, like into the middle of the two loopies. And then into the furthermost corner that you can. Then chain 1, cut your yarn and pull through. Now let's make this little center part of the eye. You're going to make a slip knot with your black yarn. Just chain 2, 1, 2, and then in the first chain make 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then close the circle with a slip knot, pull everything tight, chain 1, cut your yarn and pull through. So that's the corner little thingy of the eye. I made this one. Now an eyebrow is just a little chain. You can make it together. I mean, that's not an eyebrow, it's a frown. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So I'll just make a slip knot and chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And cut your yarn and pull through. There we go. Make 2 of those and 2 eyes and 2 center circular thingies. Now let's make the nose. The nose, you make a magic ring, like a magic ring. I'll insert a link to my tutorial on how to make a magic ring in the description box below. Into the magic ring you make 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, then a half double crochet, a double crochet, a half double crochet, and then again 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then again a half double crochet. And that's it. Pull your magic ring tight. Oh, I did something here. There we go. Pull your magic ring tight. There's a cute little nose. And then slip stitch into that first single crochet, top of it. And then cut your yarn. Chain 1, cut your yarn and pull through. And now that nose going to be like that. Now let's make the mouth. For the mouth, make a slip knot and chain 30. Chain all the way till you get to 30. So there I've made my chain of 30 chains. So now into each chain you make a slip stitch. So in each chain make a slip stitch. So in the first 9 chains you make 1 slip stitch each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, and in the 10th chain make 2 single crochets, 2 slip stitches into that same chain, 1, and in the same space 2, that's 2 slip stitches. Then make 9 slip stitches, and in the 10th one 2 slip stitches, and then for the last 9 1 slip stitch in each chain, and I'll meet you at the other side. So that's the shape of the mouth. And so now just make a chain and cut your yarn and pull through. So you're going to have to make 2 mouths because you're going to have 2 slippers. So there's my other half slipper. I'm going to put this face here and the eyes. So you'll have 2 of these and 4 eyes and 2 noses and 4 of these center eye thingies, pupils, and of course every eye must get this, 4 eyes must get that, and then you'll make the frowns, 4 frowns, and that's that. And after we have assembled the eye, we're just going to glue the eye on, the face on. We'll make these little, spiky hair whisker thingies for the Grinch. So the interesting part of it all will be to work away your tails, because you don't want anything to come loose. So just take a smaller size hook if you want to hook it through, or just a yarn needle, and sew away all your tails, and then we are going to assemble the face. Well done. The face, after you have crocheted your eyes and eyebrows, nose and mouth, and also this face part, just glue them together. Position them as you like it the best Grinch face you like, or just follow my lead, and then just glue them on. I just used a glue from our local sewing shop. It's inexpensive, and glue it in place. It's much easier to glue than to sew it on. You can sew it on if you don't have glue. It just takes a bit longer, but it does work. Then you're going to sew this face onto your slipper. So position the face over the toe so that you can keep your smile at all times, and we're only going to sew under this little part here. Don't sew this down, and we're going to sew on here. Don't sew the whole thing down, otherwise you lose the shape of your face. You don't want a Grinch looking like that, so keep these sides up. Okay, so take your yarn needle and your yarn and thread your needle. At the end you can make a slip knot, which you can work away later. And now let's start here at the top, and we're just going to you can put your hand in so you make sure you don't sew the 2 sides of the slipper together, and just insert your needle there, and also catch this part here and pull through, and one more time in the same place and pull through. So now let's go little bit further, grab piece there and grab stitch at the top, but do not go on the sides here. Stay a little bit away underneath, not directly under the edge, and you can sew it on there. So that's all that we're going to sew on for the top. We can go a little bit back again, just so it's very random for the Grinch, because the Grinch is just the Grinch. And then you can go down a little bit like that. So now I've basically gone down about 3 stitches on each side, and then you can undo your slip knot, tie it together with the end of this long yarn, and tie again, and we can cut our yarn and work it away. Now I can actually go in with the slot so we don't have to work it away. Just becomes part of the hair. Fringe, a little bit shorter that side. Now we're just going to work a little piece here right at the edge. So if you want to, you can count, say, around also so 5 stitches. So this is the middle, the 1 2 3 4 5, around 5 stitches from the side. Let's make a slip knot again and insert your hook here. It's going to be here and then here. You see this stitch like more of a post, not the edge. Don't insert it on the edge because we don't want it to be tight at the edge. But this first row and below the edge there, you can insert it there. Don't let it show on the outside, and pull through, and then again in the same place just to secure our yarn. Then just keep going for 5 stitches on each side. That's what that looks like. So you're going to preserve your edge here. It's like that. Keep going until you've done 5 to the side. So now when you come to the end, don't continue sewing to the end like we said. It's just this part that we're sewing, and then here you can just end off by going around the same post, might say 3 times or so, and then cut your yarn and let's sew it away. Let's sew our yarn away. So you can just weave it through into the slipper. Just weave it, weave it, weave it, and then pull it out, and you can cut it. And the side where we started, you can pull out your slip knot and then thread it onto your yarn, and also just go around this post a few times like that, and one more time for safety, and then again just weave your tail away into the slipper like that, and pull through and cut. So now for me, I'm just going to glue my face in a few places like that. I'm just going to glue it, and not here, because remember yeah, we can glue it a bit there, but we don't want it to go, you know, to disappear. We want this to stand up. And then this side, I'm also gonna just glue it a bit on the side, like that, because I don't want it to really come off when the kids start playing with it, or the grandkids. So there is your face. Well done, everybody, well done. So I'm just using this old video of my elf slipper that I made, elf Christmas slipper, where I demonstrated how you put your non-slip dots at the bottom of your slipper. You know, it's far better to have ease of mind knowing that you've secured the slipper and that the person that you gave it to will be safe, that there will not be a chance of them slipping if you did put the non-slip dots on, especially if they're going to use it as a party shoe or party slipper, then you know they're safe. So get some, they're not expensive, try it and make your slipper more secure with these non-slip dots. And there's the Grinch slippers. You can see the faces are a little bit different because I experimented with them. And our fluff and our pom-poms. And what a beautiful, beautiful, lovely, lovely, large Grinch slippers. Hope you had as much fun as I did. Happy crocheting! Until next time, tot volgende keer.